Hi everyone, welcome to Know the Concepts, and if you like the videos, if you like the learning, do share and subscribe and like my videos. So today we'll be class 9th, we'll be studying our next topic. So let's start with the third state of matter, that is the gaseous state. Till now we have done solid, liquids, and now today we'll be studying about the gaseous state. Now, gaseous state, as I told you, few points you remember that the interparticle space in between the gaseous particles is very high, so they are very free to move. These are few points because they are free to move, so the kinetic energy of the particles in gaseous state is very high. We can say that it is maximum if we compare it with solids and liquid. And why this is also, kinetic energy is high, the interparticle space is very high, they are free to move, particles are free to move. Why this is so? Because the force of attraction between the particles is very less, almost it is negligible, so the particles are free to move. Now these all points you all remember from the solid liquid states, right? So in gases it is the force of attraction is very less, so the particles are free to move in any of the direction. This is the basic difference. These are the properties. Now some more properties of gaseous state we will study, and one of the property of gases is that gases are easy to compress, and this property, when the gases are they can be compressed, any such thing which can be compressed, this property is known as compressibility. So all gases, they show the property of compressibility. They can be compressed like in your home also, in your kitchen, the cylinder, for cooking the food, the gas cylinder which is used, that also uses LPG, which is a compressed form of a gas. What is the full form of LPG? Liquefied petroleum gas. This is compressed gas, which is filled up in cylinders. Then another example is in the hospitals where the gas cylinders are used, that is also, in those cylinders also, compressed form of gas is filled up in those cylinders. Then you use in vehicles, nowadays CNG is used. CNG is what? What is the full form of CNG? Compressed natural gas. Natural gas is used in the compressed form. So हम यहाँ से समझ सकते हैं कि गैसेस क्या कर सकती है, कंप्रेस कर सकती है. They show the property of compressibility over here. And because of this compressibility property, what happens? Large volume of gases can be filled up in small containers. Why we use LPG? Why we use CNG? Because large volume of gases can be filled up in small cylinders and they can be transported easily. This is the reason why we are using CNG and LPGs. It is compressed natural gas which we are using. So this is also one of the property. Then you have another property, gases expand to fill their containers, and this property is known as expandability. Expandability means gases can expand, बहुत high rate तक ये expand हो जाती हैं and they can fill up the whole container. और इसका example आप देखेंगे, आप kitchen में जाइए जहाँ केक बेक हो रहा, तो आप देखेंगे कि उसकी smell जो है, because that gas which is coming out of that is filling up the whole kitchen. You can go and you can smell that the cake is being baked, क्योंकि उसने पूरे कंटेनर को बल्कि रूम को भी फिल अप कर दिया है. सो गैसेस कैन एक्सपैंड, राइट. दिस इज वन ऑफ द एग्जाम्पल. देन compressibility का एक एग्जाम्पल आई वुड लाइक टू शो टेल यू ओवर हेयर. देयर इज एन एक्सपेरिमेंट यू कैन परफॉर्म. आप 3 सिरिंज ले लीजिए, right? You take 3 syringes, you at the nozzle you put a just rubber cord or stop it from something, rubber cork लगा दीजिए and remove the pistons. और एक को untouched रहने दीजिए, leave it as it is, and the other two fill in one piston in syringe. You fill up the chalk powder, in another you fill up any liquid like water you fill up, and then adjust the piston and try to compress the 3 syringes. What you will find, what you will observe, this experiment you can do at home also. So try to compress it. What you will find, in which case, what do you think, in which case you will be able to compress the piston, push the piston down more easily? What do you think, in which case? In which the chalk powder is there, or in which the liquid water is there, or in which only gas is there, you have not added anything extra, right? In which case do you think? In the syringe where you have not added anything, that means the gas is there. So you are able to easily move the piston up and down, you are easily able to compress because the gas is there. So gases can be compressed easily. This is one of the example, right? So gases can be compressed, they can be expanded, they show expandability, they occupy far more space than liquids and solids. सॉलिड्स और लिक्विड से भी ज़्यादा जगह घेर लेती है ये गैसेस. क्यों? क्योंकि पार्टिकल्स फ्री टू मूव है, रैंडम मूवमेंट है. द नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, नेक्स्ट प्रॉपर्टी इज गैसेस exert pressure on its surroundings, right? Suppose this is a container and over here these are the particles of gases, so they show random movement. They are moving here, there, they are randomly moving and they are hitting each other. These particles are hitting each other among themselves also, and they are hitting the walls of the container also. And because of this, the pressure, आपने सुना होगा pressure, gases exert pressure. So why the gas is exerting pressure? This is the reason. Because of this random movement, what happens? They exert the force which the gases exert per unit area. This is what is pressure is. So this is why gases exert pressure, right? So we can say that gases exert pressure on its surrounding. This is the reason. Then gases have low density. The density of gases is very less. Why? Because the space in between the particles of gases is very less, and as a result what happens? The density is very, very low. Then you have another property, the rate of diffusion is very high, and this property is known as diffusibility. So we have done compressibility, expandability and diffusibility. Diffusion you very well know. What is diffusion? We have done in the first topic only. Then diffusion is rate is very high in gaseous state. Now why this is so? Because the force of attraction, same reasoning here also you will give. The force of attraction in between the particles of gases is very less, almost negligible. As a result, there is less, very high space in between the particles, and they are free to move in gases, and the kinetic energy of the particles is, that is why, high because of this movement, and as a result they can diffuse very easily. So the rate of diffusion is also very, very high. They can easily diffuse with each other. Like example of diffusibility, you have seen that if you cook the food, even if you do not enter the kitchen, you will, in the room only you will feel, you will smell the, you can judge out which food is being cooked, right? कौन सा खाना बन रहा है, just because of the smell. So why this smell is coming? Because of the heat. Kinetic energy of the particle is increased with the rise in temperature. I told you in first topic that the kinetic energy increases with the rise in temperature. Because of the rise of kinetic energy, diffusion rate also becomes high, and the particles of food diffuse into the particles of air, एंड थ्रू द एयर तो चल रही है पूरे रूम में, तो वो आपके पास तक स्मेल आ जाएगी. सो दिस इज हाउ diffusion rate is high in gases. So these are the some of the properties which we have discussed of gases. Baki properties which I told you, suppose question comes, compare, write down the comparison between solid, liquid and gaseous state. So now I think you can very well, 10 points I have given you, solid, liquid and gaseous states. So now you can very easily tabulate. If the differentiate between question comes, so you have to tabulate the difference. And now I think all of you can tabulate the difference very well. Also such difference, solids shapes, solids have shape, liquids do not have fixed shape, gases do not have fixed shapes, then their point of their force of attraction, then their interparticle space, density, diffusion, compressibility, all such points, kinetic energy. So same points को ही आप solid, liquid, gas में easily अब आप tabulate कर सकते हैं, right? Isn't it? So I think the gaseous state and solid state is clear. And आप देख सकते हैं कि suppose this is any food which is being there, so this is in solid state. So what will be the nature of the particles? They will be very close together, and there is no movement because of less space. They are just vibrating. This is solid state. Then if you have a liquid, suppose you have a water in this liquid, this is liquid state. What will happen? What will be the particles? They are still free to move. There is little space between the particles. And if it is a gas, suppose a balloon is there. So in this balloon, what is being filled? Gases are filled. You can ask a balloon seller also, which gas do you fill up in all these balloons, and how much quantity do you use to fill up how many balloons? You can ask, observe these questions. So what will be the scenario over here? The particles are free to move in any of the direction. There is very less space. The space is very so much in between the particles. So this is solid state, liquid state and gaseous state, right? Is it clear now? And expandability, I told you of expandability, like suppose one example I would like to give over here. In expandability, like suppose in a kitchen somebody breaks open a rotten egg, so that particular smell comes out, that is of H2S, hydrogen sulfide. What will be the formula? H2S of hydrogen sulfide. So that also expands in the room because of the gases expand. They show expandability because H2S gas you can smell over here, hydrogen sulfide of rotten eggs. So these are some of the examples. So many examples you can relate to your daily life, observe and try to find out more examples. What is about the difference between solid, liquid and gases. So hope this topic is clear to you, and like, share and subscribe so that you get the latest updates and others also are benefited through this channel. Thank you.